Michael Moore went on Meet the Press, and he spoke about the current state of Trump versus Clinton. Let's watch.
Let me start with something you wrote a few months ago. You believe Donald Trump is going to win this election. You believed it before the convention, and you wrote this. From Green Bay to Pittsburgh is the middle of England, broken and depressed, struggling, the smokestacks strewn across the countryside with the carcass of what we used to call the middle class, angry, embittered, working and non-working people who were lied to by the trickle-down of Reagan and abandoned by Democrats. And I know after the debate, you were unlike many. You thought Trump was successful in what he needed to do. Explain.
Yes, I don't want him to win. Let's just make that clear. I've been trying to say for months here. I live in Michigan, and across the Midwest, across the Rust Belt, I understand why a lot of people are angry, and they see Donald Trump as their human Molotov cocktail that they get to go into the voting booth on November 8th and throw him into a political system that has made their lives miserable. And so I think at the convention, I was worried Democrats, the Clinton campaign, were all doing an Endzone dance when they were only on the 50-yard line. And this celebrating after the debate, everybody needs to have their game face on here and realize that Trump can win. He can pull this off, and everybody has to be at full force here. Otherwise, it has a chance of happening. And I've lived long enough to know where I've seen, I've never thought a B actor whose co-star was a chimpanzee would ever be president of the United States, or George W. Bush, who was just completely not there himself, that he could ever get elected. Well, I take this seriously now, so Trump is not just comedy to me.
What's amazing is that apparently Michael Moore is like the only person saying this who has any voice in the mainstream. I mean, that's all spot on. When you have the establishment and the elite all lined up against one candidate, they're convinced that, like, oh, well, I mean, come on now. I know that we're going to win because all of us agree. Does anybody like to dissent in our circle of elites here? Please speak up if you do. No, all in agreement. Thank you very much that we all would like Hillary Clinton, good sir, to become the next president of the United States of America, and we're all going to run that in our various newspapers and on our various media outlets, and we're very certain that she's going to win because the people love us and adore us. Oh man, did you miscalculate? No, they don't. No, they fucking hate you. They hate you with a burning passion. And I never thought of putting it quite in those terms. Like he said, Donald Trump is the human equivalent of a Molotov cocktail that angry people who are slipping out of the middle class are going to throw at Washington. That's a powerful way of putting it. And then also saying that the Clinton campaign is doing an Endzone dance on the 50-yard line. Oh, there's never been a more accurate description in human history. So what he's laying out there is true. Guys, people forget so quickly. Ronald Reagan was viewed as a fucking joke in the country. No, people forget he was a shitty actor. He was a shitty actor who was a joke. And then eventually, he won. He became president. George W. Bush was viewed as a joke. He ended up winning. Ronald Reagan viewed as a joke. He ended up winning. And they refused to take responsibility for their role in this too. So the establishment, these are the people that brought us NAFTA. It's the Democrats and Republicans. The establishment, these are the people that have been pushing these free trade deals. These are the people who are responsible for rigging the tax code to benefit billionaires. These are the people who have overseen stagnant wages for the middle class since the 1980s. The list goes on in the myriad ways they fucked you, and they refuse to acknowledge that part of Trump's appeal is that the same people who fucked you are now trying to sell you the solution. And they say, oh, Hillary Clinton. So you see how people could look at that and go, huh, that's cute. I'm going for the other guy. And in this case, look, I think it's as dangerous as it could possibly be, because I think Donald Trump is a faux populist. He doesn't give a flying fuck about anybody but himself. And he's admitting on many fronts his policy solutions are monstrous, because he sprinkles in, along with his economic populism, he'll sprinkle in just out-and-out xenophobia and racism and bigotry. Kick out all undocumented immigrants, ban all Muslims from coming to the U.S., let's take out their families and bomb civilians in the Middle East. I want to bring back torture. I want to bring back torture, quote, even if it doesn't work. The Geneva Conventions is, quote, the problem. The list goes on and on of the stuff where this guy says things that are just fucking insane and fascist. So, but the establishment is so disliked and people are so disgusted with it that they think, hey, Trump might be the way to go. And remember, anytime somebody argues, come on, how can you be saying that? Remember what went on during the primary. During the primary, it was the same script. It'll be Jeb Bush, a fucking standard, insider who's got the money, who's got the funds, who's got the backing of the elites. That's what'll happen. It'll be Jeb Bush, or it'll be Marco Rubio, and, it'll be just like any other election year that we're used to seeing, just very similar with the robotic politicians and yada yada. Those people who predicted that today look stupid. Legit stupid. And I predicted it was going to be Donald Trump. Only 3 states had voted, and I said it would be a minor miracle if he doesn't win. It's overwhelmingly likely he will win. That was after 3 states voted. It was a caucus and primaries. Only 3 of them. And what do I think today? I still think today the election is very close. So everybody doing that end zone dance on the 50-yard line, you got to stop. And you got to correct course. Hillary Clinton has to correct course. Her campaign has to correct course. And they have to stop running to the right. They have to stop, taking Wall Street money. They have to stop smugly assuming that, they're going to win. And they have to take this threat seriously, because it's not even necessarily that they don't take it seriously. It's that their strategy is the wrong strategy to try to defeat him. And they've doubled down and embraced that strategy repeatedly.